Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, January the 19th, 2022. Today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 145, the Song of Solomon 4:9 through 5:1, and then Luke 5:33 through 39. I'm going to take a look at Luke and talk about something that's unique to Luke. In today's reading from Luke, if it sounds familiar to you, there's a reason for that. It's because it's very close to Mark. Mark's covers the same ground in his version of this, but or nearly the same ground, because Luke adds he adds his own unique flourish to the end of this. He says this at the very end of this. This is verse 39. He says, "And no one after drinking old wine desires new wine, but says the old is good." And I'll just be honest, I'm a little confused by this. That he's saying that the old is good, that nobody would want the new wine if they already had the old. Because I mean, isn't Jesus the new wine? Isn't he the new garment? Isn't he the bridegroom in this? Right. That's usually how we read this. That's how we read Mark's version of this, pretty much. I mean, that's how we generally read it. Even N.T. Wright, even N.T. Wright says that that's the way to read it, right? But the problem is, if Jesus is the new wine, how can Luke be so okay with people saying that the old wine is better, is rejecting the new wine in favor of the old wine? Unless that there's a different way of looking at this. A guy named Joel Green, and by a guy named Joel Green, I mean Dr. Joel Green, who was my professor when I was in seminary. He points out that there's another possible way to read this, that maybe Luke is diverging from things and actually critiquing the new things that people like John's disciples and the Pharisees were doing, or trying to do, in order to try and fix or add on to the things that God had already done. In other words, they were trying to stitch things on to the work that God had already done, and it just wasn't working. Maybe they were trying to take their new wine and pour it into the wineskins that God was already using. So it could be, doesn't have to be, could be that Jesus is saying that all the novelty of the Pharisees is the problem, and the wine God has made is already good. Anyway, just something to think about. That's the DBR for today. Get out, enjoy the day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you later. Boop.